This is what you need to know now. Celebrating a true American icon, the legendary Dolly Parton passing away at 80 years old. Tear it down, why the Trump administration is threatening to demolish the Kennedy Center if it can't bear the president's name. And the gloves are off in the trade war with Canada. How much these tariffs could cost your family this year. I'm Rachel Scott from ABC News. It is Wednesday, August 26th, and here's the big story. And we do begin with what else but the passing of an American legend. Dolly Parton is dead at 80 years old after what her team said was a brief battle with cancer. She graced our radios and our screens for decades, making her very first appearance here on ABC back in 1980.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, barely getting by. It's all taken and no giving. They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it.
Oh, we're still singing that song. Dolly grew up as one of 12 children in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, going from, in her own words, rags to rhinestones.
We didn't know we was poor till some smart aleck told us. But we grew up just as part of nature, and I think that's one of the reasons that I have such a strong personality and a lot of confidence, because we grew up on just loving the land, loving God, loving one another. But thinking back on it now, I guess it was probably one of the best parts of my whole life.
She went on to sell 100 million records globally, impacting every genre of music, pop culture, and a whole lot more.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong?
The Empire State Building lit up pink at exactly 9:25 last night, honoring the Queen of Country and her hit song 9 to 5. Flags ordered to fly at half staff around the country for the 11-time Grammy winner who had 25 #1 hits. And we haven't even mentioned her decades of philanthropy, careers in movies and TV, and of course, the creation of Dollywood. And that's where we find our Will Reeve.
Hi, Rachel. Tributes are pouring in for Dolly Parton here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, up the road in Sevierville, where Dolly was born, and here at Dollywood, the amusement park synonymous with Dolly Parton, where she held the title of Dreamer-in-Chief. And over 3 million people visit Dollywood each year. Undoubtedly many more will come here in the days and weeks and months ahead to pay their respects to Dolly, who became a global icon but got her start right here in this region of eastern Tennessee. And about Pigeon Forge, they say that it's like somebody flipped over a giant toy box with all of its attractions. And up in Sevierville and in Pigeon Forge and right here at Dollywood, it's as if someone flipped over a giant flower truck, with everyone coming here to pay tribute and pay their respects to the one and only Dolly Parton. And on a personal note, Rachel, I got to come here to Dollywood 5 years ago and speak with Dolly Parton. And I asked her how she might like to be remembered and what message she might have for people who looked up to her. And she told me she wanted people to be their better selves, religious or not, to try to draw on that higher wisdom, to try to make things a little better. She said, "I'd just like to kind of bring a little sunshine if I can." And Rachel, for as long as anyone can remember, that's what Dolly Parton did.
She certainly has, and Dolly was not just a star. She also gave back to her community. Her Imagination Library has gifted over 330 million books to children all across the globe and counting. Our Deborah Roberts is in the Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, with a closer look at how she's being remembered there.
Rachel, hearts are aching worldwide over the loss of Dolly Parton, but particularly here in Music City, in Nashville, Tennessee, where Dolly planted her roots all those years ago in search of her music career. She loved this town, and they clearly loved her back fiercely. You can see the tributes actually starting to accumulate here on her star along the Country Music Walk of Fame, one that she was awarded in 2009. Overnight, the vigils surfacing all around Nashville, emotional fans flocking here to pay tribute to the country music queen, bringing flowers and notes. But it's not just that superstar that they are remembering. It is the small town woman who never forgot her roots, the humble, caring woman who shared her riches and changed lives here. Dolly's image is plastered all over the city, and so are the stories of her generosity. She not only built that theme park, Dollywood, but she created thousands of jobs in a struggle struggling community. She gave money to scholarships for high school students in this area, also offered financial support to neighbors who were experiencing disasters. Everyone seems to have a story about Dolly Parton, from the waitstaff to the housekeepers to the drivers who drove her, and talk about her kindness and the way she gave of herself. Dolly Parton here is remembered as the small-town gal who made good, but also spread her goodness all around.
We move on now to the other news. It's being called a big tobacco moment for big tech. Facebook's parent company Meta will settle a lawsuit that accused the company of deliberately designing its platforms to become addictive for young users. The settlement also forces Meta to make major changes to Facebook and Instagram, eliminating or changing features states claim got children hooked. Those changes include daily time limits, a ban on displaying likes or reactions, and default blocks on notifications during school hours. Meta did confirm the settlement in a statement, adding, "We want to get this right for parents and teens." The gloves are off in the escalating trade war between the U.S. and Canada. Over 700 American products facing up to 50% tariffs in the next couple of weeks. Canada doubling these levies on things like steel, aluminum, furniture, and clothing. President Trump is accusing Canada of ripping off the United States, while Canadian leaders have called President Trump a dictator and a bully. And all of this comes as a new estimate from the Yale Budget Lab found families are paying $1,100 more a year thanks to all of President Trump's tariff policies. Now to the growing fight over the Kennedy Center. The Trump administration in court once again in a battle over putting the president's name on the building. RJ O'Brien is outside the Kennedy Center tracking the latest.
Rachel, this was an extraordinary court filing, and in it, the Trump administration essentially threatened that the Kennedy Center could be torn down unless a judge greenlights the president's planned renovations and lets the president put his name on the building. Lawyers for the Justice Department writing that the venue is, quote, dangerously dilapidated and decrepit, and arguing that without Trump's help, the center may need to be demolished and replaced with something like a large outdoor amphitheater. That's despite the fact that Congress already set aside more than $250 million for renovations to the Kennedy Center. Attorneys for Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, a Democrat, a member of the center's board who brought this lawsuit, called the administration's threat, quote, unconscionable. Remember, a judge ordered that Trump's handpicked board remove his name from this building in May. Now the board is proposing keeping President John F. Kennedy's name on the top and adding below it, renovated and restored by President Donald J. Trump. Ultimately approving that is going to be up to a judge, and the judge has said that only Congress can actually change this building's name.
Passing the torch, Senator Darlene Graham, sister of late Senator Lindsey Graham, won the Republican primary for Senate in South Carolina last night. Graham, who was endorsed by President Trump, defeated conservative Congressman Ralph Norman. She'll face Democrat Annie Andrews in November. Now to some quick hits, other stories that we are following here on ABC News. Hundreds of people are missing, including nearly 400 tourists, including at least 3 Americans after deadly flash flooding in Nepal, according to the country's tourism board. It happened after a wall of mud and rock appeared to collapse into a river on the border between Nepal and Tibet. Initial reports suggest an earthquake may have caused the collapse, but that's still under investigation. President Trump has confirmed CIA Director John Ratcliffe's trip to Moscow, saying it was for semi-routine business. In a radio interview with Glenn Beck, he denies the reasons had anything to do with increased Russian aggression with NATO or Iranian economic pressure, saying, quote, "I hate to disappoint people. We would like to see the war with Ukraine end." And it's Sullivan versus Sullivan. Alaska Republican Senator and incumbent Dan Sullivan will face retired teacher Dan J. Sullivan in Alaska's Senate race this fall. Alaska's primary allows the top 4 candidates to advance regardless of party. The Associated Press has projected that the sitting Republican will face his namesake in November, along with Democrat Mary Patola, in a race crucial to the control of Congress. The Associated Press has not yet projected a 4th candidate in that race. And finally, before you go, the annual Tomatina Festival took place in Spain today, bringing over 20,000 participants together to paint the town red and up to 165 tons of overripe tomatoes. The small town food fight typically lasts 1 hour, with the sound of the cannon blast marking the end of the messy festivities. That's one way to celebrate, and that's what you need to know. For breaking news and live updates throughout the day, check out ABC News, streaming on Disney+. New episodes daily on Disney+.